Listen, you can't put your business out on Facebook, then tell everyone to mind their own business. Take a minute to appreciate the folks, like really appreciate the folks, who are on Season 3, Episode 5 of your bullshit. That's love. Hi, this is Coach MK, and this is the Morning Mantra.
Hi, my name is MK Fleming. I'm a run coach based in Denver, Colorado. But this isn't a podcast about running exactly. Don't tell my clients, but we're never really talking about the running. When you know a craptastic event is coming, it helps to have a mantra to keep you centered and focused as you move through it. You don't have to be an athlete to be #coached and loved by Coach MK, and if you are here, then you are #winning at life.
Today's mantra is, take the selfie. Take the selfie! Last weekend was the Leadville Heavy Half and Full Marathons in Leadville, Colorado. An out-of-town client stopped by my house on Thursday morning to discuss race strategy. I gave my usual spiel about how trail races are gorgeous and almost always go through areas you can only see on foot and can only see during the race itself, so don't get so wrapped up in strategy and watching your feet trying to maximize speed and minimize tripping that you miss those beautiful views. She had never heard the spiel before because she's elite and selfies don't really have a home in our usual talks. Social media hate is the pseudo-intellectual soup du jour. It's cool to hate on social media and the selfies that live there. We're too busy. We are so busy. I'm so deep and so intellectual. I do not have time for trivial things. Selfies are selfish, and Kim Kardashian has a book called Selfish, and oh my God, just no. If you do something, do it for the experience, not for the Insta. My view is counter to common wisdom, and I'm as unapologetic about that view as I am about my unabashed admiration and support for the Kardashians. I say, take the selfie. It's possible to do so without stopping the flow of traffic, without being an asshole and ruining the experience for others, or, God help me, dying, because yes, that happens. I gave my client 5 pointers, started a blog post on that topic, and ran to my yearly physical. By the time you listen to this podcast, I will be back in the hospital with my husband, anxiously hoping that I only need surgery to remove the thing, the very rare thing, that both an ultrasound and MRI have now confirmed is growing aggressively on my right ovary. It's suspicious. Yes, that's an actual category of unidentified thing. And we aren't sure and won't be sure until this thing comes out. And I'm told this has to come out now. Best case, I'm having surgery and spend 6 weeks in bed. Luckily, I have a lot of practice by this point and know exactly what to do with 6 weeks in bed. I'm not allowing myself to think about the worst case much. At this juncture, I can't help but think about legacy, how memories of us live on after our bodies give out, because you see, we're not supposed to care about that either. How vapid, how selfish, how very Kardashian of me. But is it really? I have 4 small kids. The oldest is 7. They won't remember me. They'll want to know whom their mom is. You know how I talk about the world before Garmin and runners are like, oh my God, what? That makes no sense. You did that? It seems like forever ago. 1990 and 1960, there is no discerning. The stories are the same. There was pre-Garmin and post-Garmin. Well, remember the world before Facebook for a moment. Think about how awkward it is when you meet someone and they tell you they don't use social media. When you interview someone for a job and they tell you they aren't on LinkedIn. I'm 41 in August. Most of my life happened before cameras on phones were standard. There aren't many records of my life prior to 2006, the year I joined Facebook. Photos were a big deal back then, you guys. No one carried them in their purses. We needed a reason to show up anywhere with the camera and film lots of extra film. And you had to ask strangers to take photos of you against whatever backdrop you were visiting, and you wouldn't know for weeks if those photos were any good. Now, I take photos constantly and share them instantly, sometimes well over 100 per day. The only time I'm in them are the family photos I force everyone to do twice per year, and selfies. I think back to all the moments in my brain that I cannot capture and share with my kids to let them know who I was. I have only a handful of photos from my life prior to 2007, and none of them really capture me. They capture a moment special enough to drag a camera along to. The Fertility Festival in Tokyo in 2000, where, on the train, I would meet the girl who would become my best friend for the next decade. My 25th birthday, doing what I did every day, drink too much with colleagues and clients. A party the cool kids threw and invited me to, this was a big deal, right before I moved back to Hong Kong. And the handful of photos that exist after that are of me with someone I loved very deeply and very briefly. Then I joined Facebook, and the rest is very public history. People like to say that social media is a lie, that people go there to pretend their lives are perfect. My view is less cynical and formed by 20 years of therapy. I know that my reaction to my social media feed says more about me in that moment than it does about the people posting photos ever. At best, social media is an amplifier of both good emotions and bad. The photos that exist of me prior to Facebook are far less complete. The story you'd likely concoct from those posed smiles would be nothing more than the story you wanted to hear. It would definitely not be the story I'd want to tell my kids. There are no photos of me with dyed red hair and thin two-tweezed eyebrows working 40 hours per week as an undergrad at Georgetown. There are no photos of me running. No photos of the people I ran with. No photos of doing the things I needed to do to make things work when money was tight as an undergrad. No photos that would tell you anything about me, about my life, about the choices I faced, about the options I felt were available to me. Sometimes this is good, but not always. Maybe these thoughts are too deep. Maybe you don't want to hear about all the photos I took this weekend, all the selfies, all the smiles, in case this was the last normal weekend we would ever enjoy. Maybe you're here for your usual dose of optimism and courage, so let's pivot to that, since one legacy I will be able to leave for my kids is this podcast. A daily dose of genuine concern, empathy, and compassion that crafts courage to get us through uncertain times. So, the mantra. In those moments special enough to train for, those moments special enough to show up for, those boring moments that add up to be your day, to be the things you do, to be the things you love doing, hear my voice in the back of your head saying, take the selfie. Hell, you don't even need a reason. Just ask yourself, do I have a photo of me doing this? Someone might want to see it. Someone will want to see it because you matter. It is the opposite of selfish and vain to share yourself with the people who care about you. These days, it's odd not to have a camera. It's odd not to share yourself. So why in the world wouldn't you use that camera on yourself? As I sit here in limbo, canceling appointments and putting memberships on hold because I'm definitely having surgery and the earliest I will be back to my routine is September the 1st. I can't stop thinking about all the things I wish I had photos of, not just of the places I've been, but photos of me in the places I've been doing the things that I did. I guess you could say the only regrets I have are the times I didn't say fuck off and the selfies I didn't take.
You are coached, you are loved, and you are winning at life. And you are definitely winning at life if you subscribe to my Nuzzlenut newsletter, follow me on Facebook, or follow me on Instagram. Feel free to do all three.
Kristen and Chill is a comedy podcast that gets real about depression, therapy, and daily struggles. Often irreverent and lighthearted, conversations range from minor social anxiety to mental health and everything that happens in between. Kristen and Chill also covers topics such as having friends with depression, weight gain, suicide prevention, adult bullying, and more. So if you're looking for a more lighthearted take on these things, go check out the show. Search Spotify and wherever else you listen to podcasts to hear more than 80 endearing episodes of Kristen and Chill. You can also join the conversation and find Kristen on Twitter at Kristen Carney.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Sasha. We're setting us up to have conversations about topics we don't typically find people having every day. things that might make us feel uncomfortable about race, identity, happiness, and privilege, just to name a few.
We'll be looking at both systemic and personal biases through different lenses like history and psychology.
But why does this matter?
Because there's proof that we rise by lifting others, and we can't do it alone. We need your help. Listen in to find out how.
Well, there you go. Check out Dear White Women, a comfortable space for uncomfortable conversations about race, privilege, and parenting. New episodes drop each Wednesday on iTunes, but you can go deeper into each topic on their website, www.dearwhitewomen.com. Again, that's www.dearwhitewomen.com. Don't forget, if you need a mantra, you can always ask for one at info@coachedandloved.com. Again, that's email info, INFO, at coachedandloved.com.